Swaddling mimics the comfort of the womb and it can ease the restlessness of a child. It is essential to know the correct methods of swaddling. Hand washing and asepsis is necessary before ROP screening. Topical anesthesia is with the use of 0.5% proparacaine drops, and dilatation is using specially prepared ROP drops. First, we align the baby flat on the blanket at the level of the shoulders. Holding the baby's arms down, pull the blanket over to the other side. Wrap the blanket over to the opposite side across the baby's chest. Tuck the ends of the blanket under the child. Swaddling done right makes your child feel warm and secure. Babies weighing less than 2000 grams at birth or those with gestational age less than 34 weeks of age need to be screened. Safe and effective prophylactic treatment to prevent ROP is by early screening coupled with timely intervention. Screening for ROP is carried out in the NICU in this video. ROP drops are put every 15 minutes, not more than 3 times. Proparacaine 0.5% drops are instilled for topical anesthesia. Pediatric wire speculum is inserted to separate the eyelids. Anterior segment examination is to be done first with the condensing lens, focusing on the cornea, iris, and the lens. Retinal examination is to be done with the indirect ophthalmoscope using a 20D or a 28 diopter lens. Scleral depression is to be done with a wire vectis. One must carefully examine all the quadrants. Do not depress too hard and release suddenly, for it leads to pupillary constriction and sometimes intraocular hemorrhage. Ensure that the baby is making clear vocal sounds with no secretions in the throat. Always monitor vitals during ROP screening. This is another child being examined in the NICU. The technique is the same as discussed in the previous segment of the video. One must always monitor vitals such as heart rate and oxygen saturation during ROP screening. Keep the screening time to as short as possible, but at the same time examine all the quadrants and not miss any findings. This child was initially making some movements during the examination. However, as the examination proceeded in this case, the baby stopped making sounds and stopped responding. A very quiet child must arouse the suspicion of apnea or cardiac arrest. It is extremely essential to have a neonatologist or pediatrician on standby as seen in this case. This baby was given ambu bag and mask ventilation. We see the pulse rate and oxygen saturation improve drastically after ambu bag and mask ventilation. APROP stage 3, zone 1 or posterior zone 2 with plus disease are the main indications of giving intravitreal injections. This baby is swaddled after connecting the monitors. Both eyes of the baby are cleaned with povidone iodine. Care is to be taken to avoid eyelashes in the operative field. We demonstrate the technique of intravitreal anti-VEGF injections. Tunica vasculosa lentis is present on the anterior lens capsule. It indicates the presence of plus, pre-plus or APROP. Topical paracaine eye drops are instilled and a lid speculum is applied. A distance of 1.5 mm from the limbus is measured in the inferotemporal quadrant. Conjunctiva is displaced and 0.025 ml of intravitreal bevacizumab is given in the inferotemporal quadrant. The needle is not inserted entirely, owing to the short axial length of the child. A wave of fluid is seen just after the injection. The needle is then withdrawn and topical betadine eye drops are instilled. We discuss the laser used for treating ROP in this segment. 30 minutes before starting laser, baby is fed so as to avoid hypoglycemia. The child is wrapped well to avoid hypothermia. Pupils are dilated using ROP drops not more than 3 times. We prefer using the indirect ophthalmoscopy delivery of 532 nanometer green laser. Laser is performed under topical anesthesia. Topical paracaine eye drops are instilled and a pediatric wire speculum is inserted to keep the eyelids apart. Globe is indented using wire vectis and a 20 diopter lens is used to focus the laser beam. An assistant restrains the baby during the laser procedure and stabilizes the baby's head. Constant irrigation over the corneal surface is achieved by instilling normal saline. A baby who is crying slowly and moving the limbs is reassuring. Vitals need to be monitored during the laser procedure, and it's important to have an anesthetist on standby. The laser must always be carried out in a dark room. The initial part was made under lights for the ease of video making. Initial settings in the laser machine include starting at a lower power and can gradually be increased to achieve moderate intensity grave height burns. The uppermost panel indicates the power, the middle panel indicates the duration, and the lowermost panel indicates the interval. The indications of laser in ROP are as follows: Zone 1, Stage 1, 2 or 3 ROP with plus disease, Zone 1, Stage 3 ROP without plus disease, Zone 2, Stage 2 or 3 ROP with plus disease, AP ROP in any zone, and in select cases of Stage 4A ROP as well. The signs of regression post-laser in ROP are as follows: no new vessels in the iris or the retina, clearing retinal, preretinal or vitreous hemorrhages, a regression of dilatation and tortuosity of retinal vessels, no increase in the retinal traction, no elevation of the retina or the ridge at or posterior to the area of laser. So the take-home message is: the only safe and effective prophylactic treatment to prevent ROP is by early screening coupled with timely intervention. Doctors dealing with ROP have to race against time so as to protect the eyes from going blind. Laser ablation of the peripheral avascular retina remains the mainstay of preventing progression of disease if detected in early stages. These are my acknowledgements. Thank you.